right. Looks like we are live. A little bit of a delay on YouTube, but hey, working out kinks. I'm excited to be back. And
Looks like we are live.
We also need to mute YouTube so that I'm not listening to myself, talking to you. All right. So yeah, I'm very grateful to be back. It's been a while. I didn't think I was going to come back ever to helping people heal, educating. It just got overwhelming. And through a lot of self-work and in a class, actually, Ellie Cardinelli, he actually teaches witches and the occult and all that kind of stuff. And my wife discovered him, actually went to school. And when she told me she was going to be working with him because she has psychic abilities, it sounded like the guy I was supposed to work with. So I started working with him also. And it's like, okay, this is who I am. I am psychic. I'm not hiding it anymore. I can feel so much of what's going on. And but that's not to say that I still don't have to work on myself to release my old imbalances, my old tendencies. And that's what today is about. I was watching a video today. I'm going to have to bring up his name, Master Shi Hen Yi. And he's a Shaolin master as well as having multiple PhDs. He is Chinese, and he explains in the beginning of his speech on TED Talk, which I'll link to this here. His parents are Chinese, and they expect you to be a doctor or a lawyer or something like that, or else there's disappointment. So that's the road that he took. But he found himself studying at the Shaolin Temple and integrating all of that information. And he's talking about 5 weaknesses. And one of the weaknesses that really struck me was ill will. And have you ever had, lack of will? That's what ill will is. Have you ever had that, experienced that? I know I have. And it kind of struck me this morning. Also, I've been doing research on putting classes together. And one of the things I've been researching, let me bring it up for you here, is brainwaves. It all started with the pineal gland. There we are. And of course, I brought up the wrong one here, so let me go back. Excuse me, working out those kinks. Oh, where'd it go? Let's see here. All right. My apologies. Where is my keynote? Oh, it only lets you do one at a time. That's okay. That's okay. I can figure this stuff out. All right. Not getting overwhelmed, right? Very important. So yes, this research started me at pineal gland. I'm going to change this again here in the window so I can see everything. There you go. Started at the pineal gland. If you're thinking chakras, your third eye, your witch's eye, your ability to see, and there's a direct relation pineal gland to the third eye. So you can imagine if your third eye or your sixth chakra is blown out all of the time, your pineal gland, due to this increased amount of light, might be overwhelmed and send you into fight or flight constantly. sympathetic nervous system can be overwhelmed constantly, which in turn, will affect all of the organs of the body, your eyes, your reproduction, your sex organs, because you're always on. You're always on, and it never shuts off. Sweating all the time, increased heart, force of contraction. Excuse me. Obviously, a little release there. So this led me down the path to studying, researching brainwaves. And brainwaves are simply produced by synchronized electrical pulses from masses of neurons communicating with each other all the time. There's never nothing going on, although on an EKG it may look like it, right? And you've got delta, theta, alpha, beta, gamma wavelengths. The lower brain waves, if you're living there, might make you feel tired, sluggish, and dreamy. Not good for operating heavy machinery. The higher brain waves, wired or hyper alert, figuring things out, right? And this morning, after I decided to do this little session, I went to take a shower to make myself all pretty. And man, my brain was going 90 miles an hour. What am I going to talk about? What am I going to say? And when I did a little self-test, I realized I was in high beta or beta 3. Highly complex thought, integrating new experiences. But I was more leaning towards the high anxiety or overexcitement. And if you are familiar with the newest Karate Kid, GB fan, too much good thing is bad, right? Too much information, too much going on, getting all excited. So once I realized that, I was able to bring myself back into alpha, and within 5-10 seconds, immediately calm down. Alpha brainwaves being power of here, now, in the moment, which I preach about all the time, but obviously don't live there all the time. But that's where we'd like to be. So we're not overly excited. Okay, mental coordination, calmness, alertness. Okay, now it doesn't mean that my beta brain waves aren't still going, right? Thinking about what to say and integrating these new thoughts, figuring stuff out, right? Now, obviously, as I'm sitting here, I haven't written anything down as to what to say, but I've got an idea. All right, so let's go back here. There we are. Good. All right, so let's stop sharing there. So with this class that I've taken, we've talked about some crystals and practiced our psychic abilities, being able to read each other, which I've done for a long time, but never accepted the fact that it was a psychic. I thought I was the only one doing this. Yeah, I'm not the only one doing this. I only thought that because I never had anybody to talk to about it, right? And now I've got people to talk to, and it's like, wow, we don't have any limits as to what we can do except for what's in here. And right now, my limit is willpower. If I get overwhelmed with the information that's coming in, well, I can just click onto Facebook and disappear for a while. I don't want to do that. I want to get this information out there, get you guys healing yourself so that you can find your true potential. And so these people also use tarot cards. Now, I don't know how to read tarot, but I do know how to feel frequency. So I laid out some cards this morning in relation to healing my lack of willpower, right? My lack of ability to stay on task when I become overwhelmed. And the yawning here is me releasing. Okay, so as I talk about these things, I'm figuring things out in my head, asking for help. So I was told, or through my testing, I pulled 4 cards this morning. Again, in relation to lack of willpower, staying on task. And the first card that came up was Ace of Mirrors. And I'll read you a little bit about that. Ace of Mirrors heralds a new beginning. The suit of mirrors reflects the watery currents of feelings and the tides of human emotion. And that's a lot of what I work with. I find that everything has some emotional component. Chakras, meridians, muscles, nerves, the brain, everything is connected to emotions. And emotions ebb and flow, right? They're supposed to. On this card, you meet Daphne, a water nymph and daughter of Gaia. The Ace of Mirrors means either new romantic love, which isn't going to happen, although I could be in love with my teachings, or a steady flow of creative energy. And that's really what's coming through. I want to maintain this creative energy. Doesn't mean I have to be go. I can, take breaks and be happy with my break and let new information come in. The turtle on the card knows good fortune. And the sea plants on either side of Daphne symbolize subterranean energy and influencing a new project. And this is, although I've been practicing this work for almost 20 years since becoming a massage therapist, and maybe even more than that, being a personal trainer. I was always there to support people. Didn't know much about movement as I do now, but it was still part of this process, right? And then I pulled the 4 of mirrors. And again, we have Daphne. And the 4 mirrors symbolize security and stability. So being secure and teaching this work. Now, this doesn't mean, the cards don't mean, everything's going to be great and fine and dandy and I'm going to be secure. The cards means this is what could happen if I do the work. And that's what I'm doing today. I'm doing the work to release my lack of willpower so I can stay focused and on this journey. When at her emotional best, she's empathetic and nurturing relationships. When at her human worst, however, she becomes detached, neglectful, or even mean. Yeah. When this occurs, when overwrought emotions hold sway, a condition spawning self-indulgent behavior. Overeating that ice cream because I'm depressed that I didn't figure out what to do that day. I've got a little bird in my window here, big old bright red feathers. Just a little guy though. In this reading, this card cautions you not to unintentionally sabotage your relationships. I love doing that. Love self-sabotaging myself. Who hasn't done that, right? Now, if you are watching right now, and if you have any questions, feel free to chime in. I will check back occasionally back to my YouTube page so I can see anything. All right. So the third card that came up was Papa Legba. Now, I don't know about these cards, so again, deal with me. And I'm only reading from the book that I was given. Attribute of Papa Legba is inner strength. Papa Legba whiles away his time on a stone wall in the middle of the 22 major arcana. He stands between you and destiny's pathway higher up on the ridge. 2 candles is an unusual staff and handy knapsack indicate he has mastered the mystical gateway between your subconscious mind and the other world. So by drumming beats of spiritual wakefulness, Papa navigates your chrysalis exploration of the unseen world. He reminds you that inner strength and self-control are required to attain higher consciousness. Papa draws attention to desires that may pose a conflict to personal destiny or self-fulfillment. The transforming energy of Papa Legba, depicted by the engraving on the rock wall, asks you to let go and surrender your ego to the guidance found in this reading. So, we might have the willpower to stay within the lack of will, right? But that's why we want to do the work, to let go of that ego. I don't have to be this old way. I don't have to get overwhelmed. I don't have to be afraid of what people might think of what I'm offering, right? Although that kind of hits me at my heart. I need to let that go. It's not healthy for me. It's not healthy for my relationships, whether it be with possible clients, my family, relationship with myself, right? And then the fourth card, if my wife watches this, she'll know the connection. Kali, creative destruction. Kali personifies the cleansing energy of creative destruction as she restores balance to your life. This card indicates you may be stubbornly clinging to something or someone, a mindset or a worldview that is incapable with your quiet quest for self-fulfillment. Therefore, your challenge is to deconstruct this physical or mental architecture, however it may be, and move forward. Some find that forging new paths and altering circumstances is daunting. Kali beckons your cooperation in restoring harmony and balance. The skulls, which are positive symbols, signify transition to an evolved state of being. The lightning flashes from her tongue are verbal calls to action. And that's what I'm doing today. I'm calling myself into action. I'm calling spirit guides into action. Help me figure this out. And I've got a lot of tingling right now. I have my crystals set up around my room for support. And I am going to delve deeper now. So let me move this on over and call back up on my keynote, closing that down so I can bring up my remote healing one. There we go. Oops, excuse me. Back here, there we go. All right, so. Oh, it does show both. All right. So this is from my remote healing class. And I find when I show pictures, some may hear the words that I'm saying. Others may see pictures. So these are some of the things that I'll be working with today. Cranium, which I need to do right now because I'm getting a bit overwhelmed. So it tells me that my brain, my cranium are stuck in my old patterns. So I'm going to release those patterns. The cranial bones, they want to be able to move. They want to be able to adjust. They want to be able to ebb and flow like that water from the mirrors. So as I go through working with my all the cranial bones, facial bones, sacrum, pelvis, a lot of sacral work, and the sacrum in relation to first chakra, right? Groundedness, sense of self-protection, but also fear. So if I'm afraid of changing, my cranium might be stuck, my root chakra might be stuck, closed off, too open. Very good. Now I'm not feeling so overwhelmed right now in my head. And here's another picture of those cranial bones, how they're all disconnected. Now, Western medicine says those bones are fused and they don't move. I beg to differ because I don't have nearly the corrections that I needed when I first learned this cranial work. Even the teeth, The teeth can be manipulated, moved energetically to find balance. And as we balance all these guys, everything will follow suit. But it's not the end all be all. We also have a brain up in those cranial bones. Hippocampus, amygdala, thymus, hypothalamus, part of our limbic system, part of that fight or flight response, right? We've got our thinking brain, our subconscious brain, all those guys interacting. And those emotions are connected to all those parts of your brain. Cranial nerves, we talked about. Excuse me, those brain waves, overactive brain waves. I went into high beta. My eyes lost focus. I don't even think my hearing it seemed like it was off. Who knows what was going on with my vagus nerve? I was so overwhelmed with what was going on. But if I would have stayed there, you see this accessory nerve down here going to your traps, your sternocleidomastoid. Anybody ever feel tightness in here when they're overwhelmed? That could be a sign that you're up in fight or flight, clenching of the jaw, right? Trying to find my support. I can get this done. You got to stop doing that. We're going to move up here into some chakras because that's what it's telling me right now that I need. Look at that. Chakras. Now, whether you believe in chakras or nerve bundles or energy centers or whatever the different names for these things are, they're there. Okay. If we want to talk nerve bundles, all these nerve bundles that came from the fight or flight part of our brain up here in your neck. If you don't know how to communicate, you're going to have tight neck. If you're overwhelmed, the reason I got here in the first place, in your third eye, because you have a tendency to see too much or you don't see enough. This big old purple light over here. And then they're connected to organs. They're right over our organs. So if we have lost our confidence, will our digestion be up to par? Will we be able to breathe properly? You ever lost confidence and notice, wow, I'm not breathing? All these things are all interconnected and related. So I've got to do a little work on my chakras right now. I thought I had put those in here, so apparently I didn't, but that's okay. Working out the kinks. I will do better next time. So Teston says I got to go to my fourth chakra. So I have everything loaded up on my iPad here because I can't remember. I don't remember everything. And so when I come in to my fourth chakra, I don't want to balance the fourth chakra right now. I want to balance my second chakra in relation to my fourth chakra. And all these chakras intercommunicate together. And I'm going to release rigidity in my beliefs. And look at that. My belief that I have lack of willpower. I'll let that go. And that in turn is going to bring balance from my second chakra to my fourth chakra so they can communicate better so that my heart doesn't get blown out when I get overwhelmed. I don't lose my boundaries. That's going to be very important when I get overwhelmed so that when I'm teaching a class, I don't lose my boundaries. And boundaries are very important, right? We all need our boundaries. Know when to say when, know when to shut up, know when to walk away, know when to run. Kenny Rogers, the gambler. Releasing lack of desire. Very good. I want to get this done. I know I was put here on this earth to do this work, to give you the information that you need so you can heal yourself. And as you heal yourself, even a smile to somebody who's having a bad day can change their day. So we can pass on what we've learned, right? Yoda to Luke Skywalker, pass on what you've learned. Now we're working with the heart chakra itself. Being intolerant myself. Gotta keep working. You gotta keep doing this. Man, sometimes we need a break. Sometimes we need to eat. Sometimes we need to let those creative juices flow. We can't beat ourselves up. Intolerant of my daughter when she's not being able to learn the math that we were trying to teach her. Releasing that so that I can, coming from my heart, my daughter hears my heart. She doesn't like it when my heart's not here. Good. Now, know when you are reaching this or watching this, I apologize for not mentioning this earlier, you might feel some of these transitions within yourself. If you're okay with it, let the transitions happen. Let my healing help in your healing. Okay, it helped in your learning process, help in the release of your lack of willpower for whatever it is. Put a smile on your face. This is good. Very nice. All right. Let's see what comes up here. Come back on my remote control. All right. Meridians, traditional Chinese medicine. Lots of research in relation to meridians and the fact that they do work. I don't have anything coming up right now in particular to what I need in relation to lack of willpower in relation to meridians. But I do have, these are very interesting. These are anatomy trains by Tom Myers, and he's actually dissected human cadavers, which is, I'm so grateful to have been able to see cadavers. So grateful to the people who donated their bodies to the work. And so these cadavers were dissected in these pathways. So the pathway that I need right now in relation to lack of willpower is my sideline meridian, which if we look, it is also related to gallbladder meridian. And gallbladder meridian, as I put down here, related to anger, among other things. If we go over here to the consciousness of meridians, anger, assertiveness, commitment, confidence, courage, decisions, fidelity, flexibility, mobility, motivation, movement, regulation, release, speaking up, and strength. So as we come back to this lateral meridian, I'm going to be working on my right side. And so what I'm doing is asking this energy of this lateral line to move up from my feet to the bottom of my skull and through my ribs. Oh, man, that is good. And then I'm going to come back up here to those cranial bones and balance all those cranial bones. That was a lacrimal bone up from the nose. Holy cow, on the right side. That was a big old shift. I love this. And I'm so grateful to all of the cranial people who've taught me, and grateful to myself for doing all of the work that I've been able to do so that I can just get in here and not have to sit and wait for them to move, but ask them which one would want to move, which way it wants to move, and all of a sudden locked in. And now that right lateral line is rebalanced or balanced in relation to, again, lack of willpower. And I am tingling my face. I feel happy. I am moving. Okay. Nice. So let's see here. We're going to work with the different portions of the brain. I'm not sure if I brought that one up there. Oop. There we go. Lost you for a minute. Here we are. Yes, it is. Okay. So in relation to different portions of my brain, a mathematical approximations on my right side, motion perception on my right side, visual primary cortex, right side, posterior, facial recognition, left side, olfactory glands, right side, not glands, olfactory part of my brain, sorry. Exact mathematical calculations, front, right. And then we go back to the cranium and lock it all in again. That lacrimal bone, wow. I really like this picture. I'm gonna have to change out this picture on my sacrum, pelvis, sacrum. Ooh. Very good. Okay. And all of that was, again, the intention is still lack of willpower in relation to doing the research that I am wanting to do so that I can teach a class that is fluid and flowing and easy to understand. That's what we want. Easy to understand for everybody. I might have a young child on there, which is another reason to have pictures, right? I might be wrapping up here. I am wrapping up. I do believe so. Cool. So I have wrapped up for myself. So just a few notes from today. I'm not wrapped up. I'm going to release and bring in a few emotions. Releasing livid. Interesting. Not feeling that, but hey, who knows what is deep down inside there. Very nice. Okay. Come on back to my share. Oh, there we go. There we are. Okay. Hurt. Confusion. Okay. And to think I was all done. Bringing in motivation. Unique. There we go. So remember, these emotions are connected to everything. And I'm not saying don't ever get angry. I'm not saying you won't ever get angry. I'm saying don't live in the anger. Don't live in the fear. Don't live in the helplessness. When you see that you're doing that, you're there, check in. I talk about tapping, emotional freedom technique, a lot. Although while I am not tapping right now while I'm doing this, my intention is those meridian points. So the tapping is working. If you're new to tapping, please tap. Okay, you're tapping on the meridian points, clearing out dams and blockages, and bringing in what you need. And it's very easy. My daughter does it with me. She's done it since she was 6 months old. And she taps every morning before school begins so that she can get out of her way, open herself up to learning the new information and getting better every day. She taps for ballet. It's pretty cool. That's what I do. I don't just do it for these little things here. I do it for fun stuff also. How can I be better? Because 48 years old, I believe. Yes, 48 years old. And I just did a front flip on my daughter's trampoline for the first time in my life, landed it. Now, I crashed a few times, and because of the concussions and whiplashes and head injuries from being a snowboarder and doing dumb stuff, it affected me, but I was able to correct it very quickly, mostly because of the work that I did in the past in relation to all of the head injuries and possible concussions and even possible broken bones that I didn't know about. So that when I do crash, I don't have the profound negative effect that I had before. So that is me in a nutshell. Thank you for watching this today. I hope you learned a lot. If you do, hey, leave me a message. Let me know. Let me know how this has helped you. Because yes, while we're not supposed to be looking for pats on the back, we're human, right? So it brings a tear to my eye when somebody says, "Oh, this is what I got." Like a client from back in the day, he sent me a message once, said, "You inspired me. I moved to Arizona and I went to diesel school." And it's like, dude, that's so awesome. He's where he's supposed to be instead of just doing some menial job that he didn't enjoy. And that's what I want for myself, for my family, for you guys, getting out of your way so you discover where you're supposed to be. So make sure you follow this page on YouTube. I will be doing at least one live once a week. Classes are coming up. Following me on Facebook. I will put the link to my website so you can also follow that page, get updates for classes, live readings that are coming up. And I think that's all I have today. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful February 2nd, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.